We welcome you inside Linnell Gymnasium here on the campus of Thornton Academy, where the undefeated TA girls have their biggest test of the regular season versus the defending Class AA state champion Cheverus Stags. I'm Cole Purvis alongside Zach Tarenko, and although a snowstorm, it's about to rip through southern Maine, it's always nice and warm in this old TA gym. Zach, this is such an exciting matchup, but what catches your eye first about these two great teams?
Well, it's that, Cheverus has two losses this year. They lost to Oxford Hills this past Saturday, and they lost to Bengal in the first game of the season. These teams, both these teams feel like undefeated teams. They've played so well this season. But even more than that, is that this is TA's biggest matchup of the season. You said that, Cole, but it really is. It's one of the first North teams they're playing this year, Class AA North, and it's the first real test that they're going to have this year. They've had some pretty easy matchups. Nobody really that's given them much trouble, and we know Cheverus is going to give them trouble. Cheverus is trying to continue their hot streak and work well in Class AA North. It's going to be a tough test for TA's three-point shooting. It's going to be a big part of their offense if they want to win a game like this.
Yeah, to stress the importance of this game even more, as you said, TA played they've been playing in a fairly weak Class AA South Conference, and in the North it's been just the opposite. You have three really elite powerhouses in Cheverus, Oxford Hills, and Bangor, who have all been going at it, battling it out in a really interesting and deep conference. And this is the Trojans' big test, to test themselves against one of the better North teams, to see how they stack up in the Class AA conversation overall, and how good of a chance they have to potentially win a state championship down the road. Because if you roll through the South, great, but you could face one of these great teams in the state championship, and it's a good chance to the measuring stick game, really, to see how they stack up against these teams. And we want to thank some of our sponsors here on TA TV. This pregame show is sponsored by the Webb Law Firm. If you find yourself in any kind of trouble during this crazy winter season, call the Webb Law Firm and they will have you covered. Saco and Biddeford Savings and Paquin and Carroll Insurance, some of our other big sponsors here on TA TV, as well as the Top at Mobile Ice Cream Cart, which will sponsor our halftime show. TA 13-0, they have rolled through the South this year, and they are coming off of a huge 34-point victory against the Gorham Rams in the Hoops for Hope game last Friday night. So just talk about that game, what worked for them, and how do they continue that here against Cheverus?
That was the three-point shooting call. We
Yes.
talked about in that game that when they get hot from three, when they hit their threes, when they get in that stride, they find their players. Anybody can hit a three on the court, and it works well, and they get up to these big leads. That's exactly what they did against Gorham. Even when they missed a couple, they continued to play well. And that, as I said, is the biggest key of this game, because if TA can shoot well from three, they can take an early lead in this game, and they could hold it. If they don't shoot well, they're going to have to find other ways in this game to come back or fight back, and that's going to be defensively. But Cheverus has a great offense. They're scoring 57.1 points per game. They're only allowing 35.4 points per game. That's the first team that TA has played this year that has allowed less points per game than they have. TA is at 36.5. So it's going to be a big test for Thornton Academy. Again, it's going to be a huge matchup between some of Cheverus' top scorers in Emma Lazat and Maddie Fitzpatrick against scorers like Kylie Lamson and Addison Sulikowski. So look at Sulikowski, has 3 games this season with 20-plus points. The last 2 games have been some of those games. She had 27 and then 21 against Gorham. Kylie Lamson, similarly, 16-plus points in 5 games this season, and she had 4 threes in the win over Gorham last Friday.
As you hear our athletic director, Gary Stevens, over the PA microphone here, we want to give him a big shout out, as well as everybody that was able to make this game possible. Of course, there have been so many cancellations around the state of Maine, especially when it comes to sports and afternoon sports. It's been a wild week with the weather, but they were able to get this game in, and we thought it might have been canceled, but good for TA to get their biggest game of the season in against the Cheverus Stags. They moved it up 90 minutes, and we will have an early start time here from TA, as you see South Portland's starting lineups. Cheverus. Cheverus' starting lineups, they are a very tall team, a great defensive team. Of course, Maddie Fitzpatrick and Emma Lazat really leading the charge. And we'll see if TA can work in the paint tonight, because it's certainly going to be tough against this stout Stags defense.
Same starters as always. For Cheverus. And same as always for the Trojans.
Take a look at the injury report. The only player for the Trojans out is Kayla Blank. She has been out for a while. But that is it, and they are a very healthy team. And they have been ready to go with a great starting lineup that's been working all year long.
You have to think, it's so crazy to think about this, is that Thorn Academy are 13-0 without their sixth best player, or the best player off the bench, Catherine LeBlanc, who was a big part of last year's team.
And we will have the national anthem here from Linnell Gymnasium. Back in a second.
Set to get going here on TATV. Can't forget to mention our favorite tech worker. Sorry, Jeff Cushyberry. Josh Pulsifer here with us. The only reason I say that is because Jeff has been without us hasn't been here for about 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, it has been a little hiatus for Jeff Christianberry, but we're glad to have the other 2 members of our TATV crew here. Josh Pulsifer working right beside me on tech, bringing you this game, and Troy Bolduc doing a great job as always. Favorite cameraman.
Yeah, favorite cameraman. Yep.
Troy Bolduc on the camera.
If you saw Troy, you just know that he's the best cameraman ever.
Oh yeah. Be sure to tell us where you're watching from, and we might shout you out on air on Facebook or YouTube here. I know my grandmother's watching at home, so hopefully she enjoys the game. And off we go. Cheverus quickly to work. Layup missed there by Jenna Jensen, and here goes Kylie Lamson for the Trojans. Trying to set up their offense. Pretty good crowd on hand today, especially for a snowy day later on. Dow's mid-range jump shot is short, and there's Emma Lazat with one of what could be many rebounds today for the Stags.
Lazat and Fitzpatrick are known to record double-doubles, and Fitzpatrick even has a triple-double this year for the Stags.
That came earlier this year against Deering. Big-time players, they can really do it all. And TA looking to get out to a first quarter start like they had the other night versus Gorham. They were raining threes. But scoreless to start here as we approach a minute into the game. Here's Fitzpatrick. Strong take to the basket. Cannot finish with the left hand. Lazat right there for the board. Kicks it out. Fitzpatrick's shot is no good. Emily Coleman cleans up the glass.
See Lazat using her height in the paint. That's gonna be a big part of this game. You're gonna see Cheverus definitely has the height advantage, especially in the paint. See how TA matches up on defense. We know that Sulikowski, they're what would be considered the 5 on this team for the starting lineup, can guard anybody from a point guard to a center. So we'll see who she picks up, and right now she's on Fitzpatrick.
Good pass inside, and the layup is no good. Cheverus not able to finish so far. Here's a mid-range shot. Off the mark, fight for the rebound, and they're going to call a foul on Cheverus. It'll go the other way.
Fouls on Lazat. First quarter is going to be a big one.
Definitely.
Really important for a team like Thornton. Cheverus just trying to get back into the groove of how they play normally.
Addison Sulikowski was the star of that Hoops for Hope game the other night. She had over 20 points in a big win over Gorham. Here goes Fitzpatrick in transition. It's what she does best, and she gets the layup to start the scoring.
All by herself. Was looking for the foul there. Can't get the 3-point play, but they take the early lead. Just about six minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Here's Sulikowski at the top of the key. Little runner off the mark, goes to chase a rebound, but Lizotte is there. Slow start offensively for the Trojans.
Talked about rebounding. Lizotte already has 4 rebounds for Cheverus, and we aren't even 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah, you're right. Such a big part of the Trojans' success so far has been offensive rebounding, and they may not have those opportunities against a player like Emma Lizotte, who stands at 6'3". Lizotte and Fitzpatrick, both juniors. So some young talent for the Cheverus Stags, a team that lost quite a bit of seniors, of course, winning the Class AA state championship last year. Great pass by Sulikowski, and it hangs on the rim and finally drops for Kylie Lamson.
Great pass there from Sulikowski, finding her teammate. They got to have very quick passes. Against a team like Gorham, you won't be able to get passes off like that.
Fitzpatrick pressured, off-balance pass is out of bounds. Good energy on defense by TA. Low scoring game here, knotted up at 2 with 5:18 to go in the first quarter. Cole Purvis and Zach Tarenko here on TA TV. TA first in Class AA South heel points. Cheverus is third. They had a big game against Oxford Hills the other day, but dropped that one in South Paris.
They still have one more matchup against Oxford Hills.
Yes, that will be one to definitely keep an eye on. Here's a steal. And Ruth Bowles with her first touch of the game. Takes a 3. Off the mark. Goes off the hands of Coleman. Bowles will go chase it. Lamson throws it off of Bowles. Fight for it in the near corner. Cheverus comes away with it. Tapped out of bounds by Dow. That was a wild sequence.
It looked like Dearborn had slid into that and could have been a travel, but no call there by the referees.
Ruth Bowles, the transfer from South Portland, will take it out of bounds. Lizotte with a nice move inside and a finish.
Almost a travel call there on Lizotte, but Josh didn't believe so.
This Cheverus team, we can already tell, is a powerhouse, especially with their height, as you see Lizotte going out to the perimeter to guard the ball. Emily Coleman is going to have her work cut out for her tonight, guarding the 6'3" Lizotte. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with TA. Unable to work anything inside so far. And into the game comes Jalen Jensen for Cheverus, as well as Olivia Conroy. Coach Marson will take an early timeout. 4:05 to go here in the first quarter.
Well, we have a second. We can look at our upcoming schedule on TATV. We do have a pretty big break after today. We have a good week, maybe even a week and a half. We do have on the 7th of February, girls basketball will take on Bonnie Eagle. We've been in a kind of a roll of girls basketball. That is one of our last of the season, but I believe we may have one more after that. That is girls basketball versus Bonnie Eagle on Tuesday, February 7th at 6 p.m. And then on the 9th of February, just 2 days later, that Thursday, boys basketball versus Sanford. That is senior night for the boys team. That'll be on TATV at 7:30. So unfortunately, you'll have to have a little break from Cole and I here on TATV, but we will be back.
But if you do want to hear us, we will be recording our Trojan Talk podcast tomorrow, so definitely go check that out. We'll be recording it tomorrow morning. It'll either be out tomorrow or the day after. Lots to talk about. Huge TA sports action as we approach the basketball tournaments. And then, of course, conference championships in the NFL coming up. So stay tuned for our Trojan Talk podcast.
Usually we get a good 30-minute episode.
Great backdoor feed to Sulikowski. Great off-ball movement. I believe it was Coleman with the assist.
It was. As I said, usually we get a good 30-minute episode in, but with a chance of delay in school, we may get
a mega episode.
Yeah, close to an hour.
Jensen off the mark on a 3. Conroy goes to chase it out of bounds. Good pressure by Sulikowski, knocks it away. 2 Jensens on the court right now for Cheverus. Jalen and Jenna Jensen. Actually, it looks like only one of them is in the game now, but they do have 2 on the roster. Sulikowski pressuring Fitzpatrick a little too hard out on the wing. TA trying to avoid foul trouble. It's been a key for both teams. If they can stay out of foul trouble, they've had a great amount of success. Big shout out to Brady Corson, who's on hand to take some pictures today.
He is a avid photographer and videographer. Also, a defenseman on the TA boys varsity hockey team.
Oh, yeah.
Doing it all.
Jensen fires a three. Back rim. Coleman tracks down the rebound. Very low scoring game. Sulikowski. Nice move in the paint. Got it to go. A nice spin move and good touch from Addison Sulikowski.
Good pass there from Jessica Dow.
Sulikowski's had 20-plus points in the last 2 games. She's been on fire recently. Strong take and a good left-handed finish by Maddie Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick and Sulikowski going after one another right now, the two of them.
Lamson denied as she went up for a mid-range shot at the free throw line. Morgan Bolduc will check in for Emily Coleman and the Trojans. Just the strength of Fitzpatrick is going to be a challenge to guard all afternoon for the Trojans. Madison Bonnell Parker, the senior for Cheverus, one of the only seniors on this team, checks into the game. Ton of substitutions being made for Cheverus here as they shuffle players on and off the court.
Looks like Dearborn is going to Tony Giordano, our athletic trainer here, for some assistance. And looks like Emma Lazat will take a seat, so big chance for TA. These are the chances when their star players are taking a break, because obviously they're not going to play every minute.
What a cut, but unable to finish is Hannah Cook.
Those are the big moments.
Definitely. Good pass. Ruth Bowles was wide open and is short. Should have gone up with it as she first got it, but takes a step back and misses. Dow the rebound, working in transition. Here's Morgan Bolduc, the senior. Hannah Cook with a drive. Gets hit as she goes up. Could have been a call, but no call from the referees. Here goes Fitzpatrick the other way.
See now Sulikowski playing off Fitzpatrick on defense. Sulikowski was playing more on the inside of the paint. Now she's working on Fitzpatrick in the perimeter.
Heavy pressure from the Trojans. They'll call a jump ball. Cheverus will get the possession arrow. Coleman with a short break. She'll check back in.
Low scoring game so far. Both teams haven't hit the 10-point mark, and it's going to be probably a little bit longer as well.
This is a Cheverus offense that is averaging 55 points per game. Ruth Bowles, mid-range shot from the far side is off the mark. Coleman another board.
It's their third rebound.
Coleman looked to pull up in transition, but then feeds Dow. Dow to the basket. Got the roll. Good finish with the left by Jess Dow, the senior, averaging 8 points a game.
Great job by Jessica Dow, driving into the paint. It's one of the things she's best at.
Fitzpatrick cannot connect on a three. She'll get it right back. Feeds Bowles inside. Goes up at Cook. Good defense by the Trojans. Lamson will run the break. Dow. Scoop layup, no good. Coleman goes up with it. It's been a physical game so far. Both teams trying to adjust to the other's physicality.
Goodman had the board there for Cheverus, and now Fitzpatrick taking it up by herself. Dow guarding her.
Fitzpatrick, a point guard with size. So tough to defend. She'll survey her options as we approach a minute to go in the first quarter. Fitzpatrick fires a three off the front rim. Good rebound by Cheverus. And they'll call another jump ball.
Tough for Fitzpatrick, her second miss from three. Good rebound there by Jenna Jensen.
Sulikowski will give Dow a breather. Switching up looks on who guards Maddie Fitzpatrick. Runner is off the mark by Sulikowski.
Fitzpatrick has 5 rebounds. She's been running the floor, going from rebounding on one end on the defensive zone to then taking the ball up the floor by herself.
Yes, she has established herself into this game early. Bowles no good. Hannah Cook looking to get it going. She hasn't scored yet, but she has been a great scorer for the Trojans so far this year. It's a little off balance there. Cheverus will look to hold for the final shot of the first. 8-6, Stags in the lead. Fitzpatrick, Sulikowski fell over, unable to hit. Ball knocked around, taken by Cheverus, and time will expire on the first quarter, and with that, we will take a break here on TATV. Stags up too early.
Hey, Dan, how's that proposal coming?
Just finished. I am sending it right now.
Okay, good. Oh, no. How are we looking for noon? We got like 2 minutes. Dan.
Run over here.
Is this my room? Wow, Dad! Is this your room?
Back here for the second quarter from Linnell Gymnasium, Cole Purvis and Zach Tarenko here on TATV. Welcome to everybody watching around the state, Maine basketball fans tuning in for this huge matchup between the 12-2 Cheverus Stags and the 13-0 Thornton Academy Golden Trojans. Made a mistake as we went to break. It's TA that holds a 2-point lead. Cheverus back to work on offense. Maddie Fitzpatrick out of the game for the Stags, but Emma Lazat is back in. And she'll take a mid-range jumper and knocks it down.
Great pass there from Jenna Jensen, who's been contributed well tonight so far.
Lazat has been a machine. She's averaging around 18 points a game and a force offensively. Rips down an aggressive rebound off the Sulikowski miss.
5 rebounds already for Lazat and 4 points. That last mid-range jumper.
Feed inside to Lazat. Kicks it out. Jensen, baseline drive. Short on the runner. Diving for a loose ball. Sulikowski tries to come out of the pack, and Coleman will control.
Great job by TA.
Still diving for loose balls. Jensen's going to get it. Jump ball. Cheverus will take possession. Jensen a little bit undersized out there, but is doing a great job making these hustle plays.
Both of the Jensens having an impact today.
Definitely 2 freshmen, the Jensen sisters, so definitely a bright future with this team getting significant varsity minutes. Here's another freshman, Kylie Lamson, who has been terrific. Her shot is off the mark. Good rebound by Claudia Pelletier. Deep 3, Sulikowski unable to connect. Lazat with another rebound.
Lamson's had a tough time getting shots off. She's been guarded very well. Seemed to be throwing up that last shot.
Rebound nearly lost out of bounds by Benell Parker. Here's Lazat. Will drive with the left hand. Goes up through contact. She'll go to the line for 2, our first free throws of the afternoon.
Tough play there. TA trying to bring extra pressure. In the end, it was the extra pressure that caused the foul, so Lazat will go to the line, looking to take the lead back.
Lazat, the junior, standing at 6'3", off on the first free throw. Always a double-double threat. This game may come down to free throws. It sounds cliche, but against 2 great teams like this that might have trouble scoring the basketball with how good their defense is, free throws are going to be key. Good rebound. Offensive glass. Maddie Fitzpatrick is there for the lay-in. Stags take the lead.
Both free throws are a miss, but they get those points that they wanted from Fitzpatrick. She's got 6 and 6 rebounds.
We've had some close games here this winter on TATV, and although it's early, I get the sense this one could come down to the wire.
You can see Lamson's a little bit frustrated with herself, just having a tough time controlling the ball.
Good take by Sulikowski, but unable to finish. Dow is rejected. Emma Lazat with the block. Sulikowski gets it back and gets the roll. Good action, and TA able to clean up the offensive glass for 2.
Great job by Sulikowski there. She's playing very aggressive, especially when defending Lazat and Fitzpatrick. That's what they're going to need if they want to take down the Cheverus Stags.
They trap Lizotte in the corner and now get it back to her. Works on Dow. Spin move is good. Unstoppable down low on the block.
Lizotte and Fitzpatrick have all 12 of their points.
Yeah, it's a funnel offense. It's two players that really do everything for them. So if you shut down those two players and try and pressure the other guys to make a shot, then that will be the key. Of course, they have Ruth Bowles, who's quite a good player as well. She can hit shots if she needs to. 12-10, Cheverus in the lead. And it's taken away. Here goes Fitzpatrick on the break. Goes up and misses. Lizotte right there gets fouled by Coleman. She will go back to the line. Smart by Coleman to lay off of Fitzpatrick there. And got her to miss the layup, but Cheverus will still get free throws out of it.
Lizotte, who missed her first two, gets this one a fall.
Some substitutions. Kylie Lamson will take a seat. Hannah Cook back into the game. Free throw number 2 is good. Got a friendly roll. One thing people always say is that these rims do give you a friendly bounce, and I definitely agree from shooting on them in the past. Definitely some friendly baskets here at TA. Cook, deep three, way off the mark. Pelletier goes to chase it. Good effort out of bounds, but it'll go to Cheverus. A little bit forced there from Hannah Cook. She is averaging 13 points a game. She shot 45% from three. So they have been efficient from out there, to say the least.
Shout out to the boys basketball team. Practiced at XL today, so this game could happen earlier.
Definitely.
They're here in attendance. They will play the Falmouth Navigators.
Huge game.
On who's a great team in Class B. On
Class A.
Oh, excuse me, Class A, you're right. On Friday.
Ruth Bowles with a shot and connects. That'll be a long two for Ruth Bowles. 16-10, Cheverus out in front. Here's Dow, attacks the basket, goes up and misses. Fitzpatrick trying to go coast to coast. Feeds Lizotte down low, layup is good. Cheverus out and running. Coach Marston needs a timeout. 18-10, Zach. It's looking a little panicky for TA.
It has. Unfortunately, it's really tough to emotionally stay in a game like this when players like Lizotte and Fitzpatrick are just running the floor back and forth, blocking shots, doing a great job rebounding. It's so tough. And it's, again, the first time that TA is playing a very tough opponent. The first time they're really being tested. And you're seeing right now that they're having a tough time getting all their shots to fall, and you can see some of the players like Lamson and Cook just have not been able to get their shots to fall, and they are having a tough time staying in this game, and throwing up shots really isn't the best choice right now. You can see a couple times they tried to force some shots to get them to fall. Some of the more veteran players in this team like Sulikowski and Dow are trying to help their team calm down, get back in this game.
So for Kylie Lamson, a freshman without a lot of experience, how does she settle into this game?
Yes.
And Dow is the player that they look to, senior, to take control.
And no matter the score, this will be great for Lamson as Fitzpatrick knocks that one out of bounds. Because when you go to the playoffs, every game's like this. No matter who you're playing, whether it's the lowest seed or the highest seed. So a game like this, even if Lamson has a tough day, even if it doesn't work out for her, it'll be important come later in the season when they're going to play big teams in the playoffs.
It's a great point. 3:23 to go in the first half. Hannah Cook out at the top. They've had a tough time penetrating inside tonight. Coleman will try a three. Off the mark, TA has not hit a three yet, which is, they live and die by the three, and to not hit one so far in the first half is not great for the Trojans.
And to be truthful, they haven't taken many. Only 3 taken today. There's a foul on Lizotte. But still, as you said, Cole, they haven't hit one. And obviously, it looks like Coach Marston does not want to risk taking the 3 ball and missing and giving up possession. Looks like Lizotte will take a seat. So again, as I said before, opportunities for TA, opportunities. It's when you want to drive in the paint.
TA in offense, that's been averaging around 8 3-pointers a game. They hit 10 the other night in the Hoops for Hope game versus Gorham. 0 so far in the first half. Sulikowski lost it on her way up, and Fitzpatrick out of the pack. Pull-up jumper is no good. Quick pass ahead to Dow. They've got to get the transition game going, and they do that here, but Cook cannot finish on the layup. A little bit of frustration from TA. They haven't been able to get anything going in transition.
Fitzpatrick with 10 rebounds now already.
Might be on her way to a double-double already, maybe even in the first half. Cheverus with a miss. TA, one thing you can say is that they have certainly been pushing the pace. Lamson with a wild shot. They've just got to settle things down offensively.
A timeout was called by Cheverus, but it looked like TA had possession. That's tough. Tough call there, but good by the Cheverus coaching staff to see that happening.
2 minutes to go in the half, 18-10.
Fitzpatrick 11 rebounds and 6 points, an assist and a steal to add to that one as well. That's why it's 18-10. It's been tough so far for Thorne Academy.
Again, we thank everybody for watching online, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Boxcast. Let us know where you're watching from, and we might give you an on-air shout-out. Cole Purvis and Zach Tarenko here on TATV. Alongside Josh Pulsifer and Troy Bulldog working behind the scenes. Jeff Christianberry, we don't know if he's watching.
Yeah.
He might be eating some good food right now. Yeah, I doubt he's watching, but shout out to him as well. And we have somebody watching from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Ooh. That's probably, how much warmer do you think that is than here?
Indiana's pretty cold, but
10 degrees maybe?
maybe. Definitely a little bit more south. Fitzpatrick trying to work in the post. She'll get it back. Great defensive play by Sulikowski.
Sulikowski.
And they're off and running. Coleman with the layup. It's good. Defense to offense for the Trojans. That's what they needed. Emily Coleman with the 2.
Sulikowski is definitely doing a great job playing defense on Fitzpatrick, and she has great confidence right now. She's not worried about, I can't guard Fitzpatrick. I need help. She's just taking her one-on-one. There's a block there.
But Bowles right there for the offensive rebound. Right place, right time. Coach Marston frustrated at his defense.
He's still down 8, under 2 to go in the first half. They're going to need some big buckets going into the locker room.
Kylie Lamson, tough catch, puts up the shot and no good. Another off-balance take from Lamson and the Trojans. 1 minute to go, 20-12, a low-scoring game, lowest we've seen from the girls basketball team so far this season.
Fitzpatrick with 12 rebounds. She needs to stop rebounding the ball. I'm running out of space in my stat sheet.
Running out of things to say about Fitzpatrick and Lizotte. They're just players with towering size and great skill in the post. They'll feed her again, knocked away by Sulikowski. They're going to call a foul. Again, TA's defense not doing a terrible job, only holding the Stags to 20 points, which is lower than their season average, but the offense hasn't been able to get it going. Only 12 points offensively for the Trojans. Sulikowski takes a seat. Morgan Bulldog back into the game. Getting some quickness on the defensive end, trying to force a steal.
And Sulikowski's going to go out now because she has 2 fouls. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Sulikowski foul out in this game, even at some point, because she's going to need to play really aggressive defense on Fitzpatrick all night.
Shot is no good, and a foul will be called on Cheverus. Looks like Ruth Bowles will get called for that.
That should be Jenna Jensen, number 10. Jensen came crashing into the paint afterwards.
TA trying to break this press. Ball knocked away and a turnover. The press works to perfection for the Stags. Here goes Ruth Bowles. Cheverus with all 5 out beyond the three-point line. Now they'll get into their set.
TA needs to step up more on Fitzpatrick. Don't give her space to run the perimeter.
Bowles lost it out of bounds, maybe off her foot. 8 seconds left for the Trojans. Got to break this press first if they want to get a shot off here to end the half.
Bulldog will come off. Sulikowski back on with 8.7 seconds left.
They'll feed Dow. Now Lamson gets beyond half court. Lamson's got to shoot. Puts it up at the buzzer, and it's off the mark. Cheverus with an 8-point lead as we go into the half. The Top at Mobile Ice Cream Cart halftime show will be next right after this. Stick around.
Hey, Dan. How's that proposal coming?
Just finished. I am sending it right now.
Okay, good. Oh, no. How are we looking for noon? We got like 2 minutes. Dan.
Hey, is this my room?
Run over here.
Is this my room? Wow, Dad, is this your room?
I chose to attend TAMS because it was a change of scenery. It was a much smaller school.
Because of the amazing teachers.
How small it is and the community about it and how everybody knows each other.
You can know all the kids here, so it makes it much more easier to make friends.
They just get you ready for high school.
TAMS is special.
TAMS is amazing.
TAMS is fabulous.
TAMS is fun.
TAMS feels like a family.
Welcome back to Linnell Gymnasium here on TATV. 20-12 is the score. Cheverus in the lead. Zach, let's talk about that first half. Just a great defensive performance from the Stags. What does TA need to do to turn this thing around?
They just need to be more confident with the ball. It looked like they were trying to force things. They were running the ball really fast. Obviously, there's not a lot of time in basketball games, and it is limited, but you're only down by 8 points. Don't need to play like you're in the fourth quarter with 1 minute left, and you just need to get any shot up you can. At this point, it'll be really key for them to try and shoot from the three-point line. I mean, they haven't done it really well today because they haven't taken many shots. They need to do what is best for them, what they've done so great this year, and that's shoot the three ball. They need to take that risk. They need to be confident in themselves. Coach Marston needs to be confident in his players, and I know that he is. So I would not be surprised if you see Lamson and Sulikowski and Cook just throwing up threes early in this third quarter.
That halftime report was brought to you by Top It on the Go. Top It is a mobile ice cream cart that caters to any of your event needs, whether it's a wedding, corporate event, birthday party, graduation party, or whatever you want. Top It will bring delicious ice cream directly to you. Find them online at topitonthego.com. Second half underway here. Dow with a good steal to start things off, but it's knocked out of bounds by Cheverus.
Great start for the Trojans. And Jessica Dow getting in front of the ball. She caught Lazat looking for it, waiting, and made a great play. Chance for TA to get some points on the board.
Dow has Fitzpatrick. That's been the matchup all afternoon. Sulikowski down low, a nice feed. Lamson couldn't hang on to the basketball, and she chucks it out of bounds.
Tough play there from Lamson, but not much she could do when guarded well on defense.
Freshman has obviously made a lot of noise this year. Not her best performance so far today. Wide open in the short corner, and the shot is no good. Here's Emma Lazat, ripped away by Lamson in transition. Here go the Trojans. Sulikowski missed the layup. Two good opportunities for TA, and they can't capitalize on either one of them. Still diving for the loose ball down low, and another jump ball. There's been a lot of those today, I believe. Yep, TA get the possession arrow. And Dow got it. Puts up the layup and goes off glass for two. Good move by Jess Dow. Here goes Maddie Fitzpatrick. She had 6 points in the first half along with 12 rebounds, so she could definitely be in double-double territory by the end of the game. Gets it down low. Going to work on Sulikowski. They both go tumbling to the floor. And they're going to call a foul on Sulikowski. Could have been another jump ball situation, but Cheverus will take it out of bounds with Ruth Bowles. Maddie Fitzpatrick fires it past to Lazat. That goes out of bounds. Too much mustard on that one, and TA will get it back. 20-14, down by 6, trying to climb back into this one. Got to cut down the lead a little more heading to the fourth quarter. Just keep it close within a couple possessions, and we've seen them play well in the clutch this year. Had to come back against South Portland on the road. South Portland and Cheverus, not the same team though.
Lots of time left for both teams.
Coleman down low, couldn't control it. Saves it well to Lamson. Lamson with a nice handle. Finds Sulikowski. Open three, off the mark. Dow with a good board.
Tough shot there from Sulikowski, but TA has not been caught watching the ball or watching the play at all.
And a foul called on Megan Dearborn on Hannah Cook. A little bit of life you can sense from TA's offense.
They're definitely trying to come out being aggressive. They're trying to come out with some energy and some pace.
Only 2 points so far in the second half, but they have gotten better opportunities, which is the key. Just got to convert on those. Lamson, she'll control. Fires a pass, nearly stolen, but Dow is going to go grab it. Aggressive play by Fitzpatrick, that almost worked.
Tough pass there from Lamson, but was trying to find it.
Dow with a spin move, just chucks it right off the backboard. Lamson denied. Struggling to find their footing. Lazat ahead of the pack, wide open for the layup. Emma Lizotte, she had 10 points and 7 rebounds in the first half, and she's off to work here in the third quarter.
Lamson tried her best there, but was blocked by Fitzpatrick, and then Fitzpatrick found the court-long pass to Lizotte. Back down by 8.
Good look for Sulikowski, and she gets it to go.
Coleman with 4th assist of the game. Coleman has the most assists in this game so far for Thorne Academy.
Not really a scorer, but definitely does a lot for this team, Emily Coleman. Better defense so far this half by the Trojans. They'll feed Lizotte. Here's Dearborn. They'll work it around the perimeter. Dow's done a pretty good job so far on Lizotte, considering the height advantage, the disadvantage, I should say, for Dow. They'll feed Bowles inside, try to fire a pass, but it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Cheverus. TA and Oxford Hills, the only remaining undefeated teams in Class AA. Cheverus has 2 losses.
Yeah, Bangor's one of those teams that kind of came out of nowhere this year. Weren't really expected to be much of a competitive team in Class AA North, and instead beat Cheverus.
They're going to wave off the basket and call a violation. Emma Lizotte walked with it. TA ball.
And on top of that, they only lost to Oxford Hills 39-33.
Yeah. Bangor's great. Again, like all the top teams in Class AA North have just played outstanding this year. Cook down low, couldn't handle the pass. And Bowles, it looks like, touched it last, so TA will get the ball. That's the thing. I think in both boys and girls, the North is much stronger than the South, and especially girls, because there's really nobody else that's even challenged TA. Good block. Fitzpatrick got up in Cook's face and rejected the three-point shot. Dive forward on the floor. Fitzpatrick comes away with it in transition. Crowd wanted a foul from Lamson, but won't get it. Fitzpatrick the three. It's good. Maddie Fitzpatrick connects from the corner.
What a three from Fitzpatrick. Defensively, steals the ball away and had a block. And then on the other side of the floor, finishes with a fantastic three.
That's just so much effort, defensively and offensively. Chased the loose ball and got it to go from the three-point line. Terrific player. Scoop layup, another wild shot from Lamson.
Lamson's outside of the paint, trying a scoop layup. It's so tough.
Yep.
She's having a really tough time finding her stride right now. And you would have hoped that would have been kind of canceled out while in the locker room, but still having some troubles now.
Fitzpatrick tried another one but missed. Under 3 to go in the third. Coach Marston trying to get his team to step up and put the ball in the basket. Only 16 points. They've gotten that in the first quarter in a lot of their games. Again, a good test for them. First real test that they've had all year.
Seeing Sulikowski on the bench right now. She does have a few fouls.
Lamson and one. Gets it to go through traffic, and she'll go to the line trying to finish off a three-point play.
Nice job there by Lamson. The floater, she missed a few times in the first half. That time gets to go. Sulikowski's back on. Hannah Cook will take a break. And that last foul was on Jenna Jensen, her second foul.
Kylie Lamson, the freshman.
Does have 4 points, looking for number 5.
Averaging just under 12 points a game, shooting 86% from the line. And she finishes off the three-point play. 25-19, they've cut it down to a 6-point deficit.
You can see Fitzpatrick is tired. She's definitely been running the floor a lot in the first half and even the second half.
Lizotte trying to take some of the pressure off her, and she responds with a tough layup.
Lizotte has 13.
Dow feeds an open Morgan Bulldog. Shot fake. Mid-range shot. No good. Just an offensive struggle. Tough to watch from the Trojans.
Still only down 8 right now.
Fitzpatrick drives through traffic. Good no call. Sulikowski will take it the other way. Finds Dow. Dow with a scoop layup. No good. Sulikowski stepped on the end line. Dow probably should have just gone up with it straight up. Instead, she tried the scoop layup, which hasn't worked for the Trojans so far today. Hannah Cook will sub in for Morgan Bulldog.
It's just tough to see from Thorne Academy. Obviously, you can see some of the players are frustrated. I mean, 13-0, going undefeated is a tough challenge. It's not something that a lot of teams do. You don't see it very often. So obviously, you know, these players expect a lot from themselves, so it's tough when they're down, you know, to a team like Cheverus.
Lizotte on the block. Finds Benel Parker. Drive by Jensen. Floating shot, tried to go off glass, but couldn't get it to go. Sulikowski, she's been great handling the ball in transition. Puts it up, and she'll get fouled and go to the line.
Good job by Sulikowski to throw that ball up. She'll go, as you said, go to the line and a chance to get some points out of it.
Got to hit their free throws.
That's the third on Jenna Jensen, number 10. And so Ruth Bowles will check back in. Sulikowski has 9. Looking for number 10. She also has 4 rebounds, and assist, a steal, and a block.
Yeah, over her last 5 games, she's averaging just under 17 points. She's been on fire recently. Hits the next free throw. We have a couple Facebook comments I want to shout out. 2 people watching from Florida. 1 from the Villages.
We have the Villages a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's a regular. Jensen inside with a shot, and it's good. She was wide open, and a good pass from Lizotte.
Jalen Jensen, her first basket.
Lamson's just going to throw it right out of bounds over the head. Sailed it over the head of Dow. Breakdown there from TA, 29-21.
This is the point in the game right here where you need to get some kind of turnover, some kind of offensive movement.
You have Jensen, one of the smallest players on the court, guarded by TA's tallest player, Emily Coleman. Lizotte, no good. Lamson will push, trying to settle things down. She slips, and a travel is called. TA looking rattled here in this third quarter.
Such a tough game right now for Thorne Academy. The third quarter has just not been great. And 20 seconds left. We'll have to assume Cheverus will try for the last shot.
Good play. Dow knocked it out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Stags. 13 seconds left.
This game hasn't gotten out of reach for Thorne Academy. They're only down 8 points. It hasn't gotten any greater than 8 points in this game. But still, there's been times where they start to come back or they get a couple baskets and they just can't keep momentum, and that's what Cheverus does. They steal momentum, and they build off of it.
Jensen with the drive. Finds Fitzpatrick down low, got a layup. And it's a 10-point lead now for Cheverus. Lamson has it, that's gonna do it for the third quarter. TA's undefeated record hangs in the balance here at Linnell Gymnasium. We'll be back after this break.
Hey, Dan, how's that proposal coming?
Just finished. I am sending it right now.
Okay, good. Oh, no. How are we looking for noon? We got like 2 minutes. Dan.
Run over here.
Is this my room? Wow, Dad! Is this your room?
Fourth quarter about to begin. Can TA pull off a 10-point comeback as we head into the final frame? 31-21, Cheverus on top. TA, one of the last 2 remaining unbeaten teams in Class AA, and again, they've rolled through the South this year, but this is their first taste of one of the best teams up north, and so looking ahead down the road, they're going to need to compete with some of these teams, and if they can't win this game, that would be a concern for them down the road. Zach, what do they need to do here in the fourth to come back?
I said it at halftime, they need to shoot the three ball. They just have not tried it today. It's a great way to get points back in the game, and it's a great way to build momentum. They have some of the best three-point shooters in the state of Maine, and they haven't tried to shoot the three. The best part of their game. And I think that, I hope that Coach Marston is telling that to his team right now, is to just be confident in how they play and do what they do best. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you don't want to end a game like this saying we didn't do what we do best.
Definitely a team coming off of a 10 3-point performance against the Gorham Rams. Emily Coleman trying to start off the scoring in the fourth, but cannot. Fitzpatrick has been so good in this game and trying to finish it off for a potential big Cheverus win. The floater is good, makes it a 12-point lead. Maddie Fitzpatrick has been electric so far.
She is more than in double-double territory now, as she has 13 points and over 14 rebounds.
For Cheverus, two of the best individual players in the state. Maddie Fitzpatrick is just an incredible player, and then Emma Lazar obviously is a double-double machine. But you know, for the rest of them, they have Ruth Bowles, but who else do they have that can step up? They're a little bit undersized on their bench, but they've certainly been able to take advantage of TA's weaknesses so far today.
Fitzpatrick, another rebound off the Sulikowski three miss.
Here's Bowles at the top of the key. Jensen with a fake, drives on Coleman. Lizotte will try a three, and she hits.
It's a two.
Long two from Emma Lizotte, 14-point lead. That is the largest lead of the game for either side. Cook steps into a three, cannot respond. He'll go off the top of the backboard. TA's gonna need something quickly. Cheverus trying to slam the door on TA's undefeated record. Jensen's three, off the mark. Gets her own rebound, puts it up and in with a left. They broke it open, it's a 16-point lead.
TA is having a tough time right now on the defensive side of the game. You can see they're tired. It's been such a challenge for the Trojans in this game. Getting all their players into the action.
Coleman in the corner has Lizotte on her. Finds a cutting Sulikowski and got a much-needed layup for TA. And now they'll press, trying to get a steal. And again, the three-point numbers have been down so much this year. They're going to need to find that three-point shot here with 5:21 to go. Timeout called. Claudia Pelletier is about to check into the game, so some substitutions being made for the Trojans. Again, Cole Purvis here with Zach Tarenko on TATV alongside Josh Pulsifer on tech and Troy Bolduck on camera. We want to plug one more time our Trojan Talk podcast. We will be recording it tomorrow. It will be out in the next couple of days. We'll talk about a lot of things, including this game, as well as the TA boys basketball team and both the boys and girls' chances of making a deep run in the playoffs, as well as the boys hockey team, which is having a good season. And we'll dive into some professional sports as well. The NFL conference championship games.
Talk about the Bruins.
Bruins, definitely.
And a special little thing that I have been seeing that I had a couple of questions for the guys. But hopefully, and this is the only time I'll ever say this, is hopefully we can go in early on a delay from school because of the weather, and we can get a long episode in. Our longest episode has really only, I think, ever hit 55 minutes, and that was because we had a couple of interviews. As the football end of the football season, because usually we try to keep it short. That's our memo is short podcast episodes, things people can listen to quickly. Just giving some updates. But if we do have a delay from school, we could have a big episode.
Yeah, so stay tuned on TA's social media for that. Jensen from the corner for three, too strong. Dow with the rebound. Cheverus coming off of a win versus Wyndham, so they're off of a back-to-back, but they do not seem tired at all, as diving for another loose ball is Maddie Fitzpatrick. It'll stay with the Trojans. 14-point lead, a big lead, but not insurmountable if TA can get hot from three.
TA's going to need some big baskets.
Crowd wanted a push-off on Lamson. Has been a little bit over-aggressive today, but we'll see if they can find their shot. Cook for three, off the mark. Here's Lizotte in transition. Cook behind her. Gets fouled, and she'll go to the line. Hannah Cook trailing her. Not much she could do about that.
So tough for the Trojans right now as they try to get back in this game. A three like that would have been perfect. The perfect time and the perfect basket.
Just not their day, and this is the thing in the playoffs. If it's not your day shooting the ball, you could get upset. So that's the downside of living and dying by the three.
And if you can't tell from Cole and I's reactions, we are a little surprised. I mean, we obviously knew this was going to be a good game, but we, as there's a basket there from Pelletier, we did not know that, we've never seen TA in this position before, down by more than 10 points. We haven't seen it all year, so we are a little surprised.
Exactly. They have rolled through everybody in the South, coming off of a 34-point win, and now they're held to 25 points with only 4.5 to go. Claudia Pelletier had a basket a couple seconds ago. They'll need more of those.
Pelletier is continuing in this game. Coleman's taking a seat. Coleman is not in foul trouble, but Pelletier is one of the more aggressive players in this team.
Sulikowski doing good work defensively, but Cheverus able to regain possession.
Probably trying to bring some energy back in this game.
TA 13-0, trying to fend off their first loss. Cheverus 12-2. Their only two losses to Oxford Hills and Bangor. Lizotte and one. Trying to close the door on the Trojans.
Foul on Jessica Dow. And lead is back to 14. Lizotte has struggled from the free throw line, not that time. She's 3 of 7 today. And they're still on the full court press on the Trojans.
Pelletier tries a three. Way off the mark. Fitzpatrick the only one there for the board. Gives it to Bowles. Sulikowski fell over. Lizotte. Good move in the post. Got it to go. Emma Lizotte with a great move on Jess Dow. It's another and one. She will head to the line, trying to finish off a three-point play. Her moves in the post have been so killer for TA's defense. 4 minutes left, 42-25.
It's a tough foul there on Lizotte. Dow doing her best on defense. And Lizotte has reached over 20 points. She's got 21 and has 9 rebounds as well to add to it. Really close to the double-double.
Dow to the basket, had an opening and got it to go with the floater. Quick timeout called by Coach Marston. 3:47 left. Cheverus still with a 16-point lead, and it might be too little too late even if TA can get something going here. Again, we want to thank our sponsors here on TA TV, the Webb Law Firm, Saco and Biddeford Savings, Paquin and Carroll Insurance, and the Top It Mobile Ice Cream Cart, who have sponsored us for this great winter season here on TA TV. Again, a little bit of a break before our next broadcast.
Yes, definitely. We have about a week and a half off. The one thing that I think is important for people to know, and I think that we know here, is that even if TA is to lose this game, and it's a tough loss, obviously, they're still 13-1. They have Class AA South locked up. There's really no way that they'd have to lose out and some specific point totals to happen to fall to second. They will have a bye because Massabesic is no longer in the varsity schedule, so they will have more opportunities to, especially in the playoffs. They're still going to make a deep playoff run. I have no doubt in that. This is just their first taste of the Class AA North teams in teams like Cheverus and Oxford Hills and Bangor. So, this loss definitely, or this what looks like a loss at this point, but we don't know. There's still a lot of time left. It's definitely does not define this team, or how they've played so far does not define this team.
Yeah, they are definitely the team to beat in AA South. The next best team is Gorham, and they've beat them 3 times. Cheverus calls timeout as Ruth Bowles was getting pressured in the backcourt. And yeah, as you said, TA will likely get a bye, which means we probably won't get a home girls basketball game here at TA, but that's all right. They'll go right to the Cross Insurance Arena and play the big-time games in the tournament.
That could be a detriment. The only reason is because that playoff atmosphere is a lot different. I think it's a lot different when you get to the Cross Insurance Arena as well, where they'll play the semifinals and regional final, and if they make the state championship game. But I have no doubt that they will soar through that. And some of these players have been in that arena. Obviously, the only few that come to mind are Laura LeBlanc and even Lamson. But other than that, these players, they played against Scarborough last year in the South semifinals. So they know what that arena's like, because I know the difference isn't a lot, but the court is a different size. It's a little bit of a different shape as well, and you're playing in a big arena. It's a lot different.
Cook fouls Jensen. Yeah, it's definitely tougher I would imagine, to shoot in the Cross Insurance Arena.
Yes.
And that could be bad for them. The boys team dropped their second game of the season at Gorham, and so it could potentially be 2 losses for the boys and girls programs. But again, just the regular season, they still have great records, and just got to wait and see how they perform in the playoffs.
This type of defense is what TA needed earlier in the game, as Fitzpatrick finds the pass to Jensen. Yep. Jalen Jensen, excuse me.
Cook will try a 3, and it's good. Hannah Cook connects from downtown for her first 3 of the afternoon.
TA getting some points on the board.
And Cheverus will throw it out of bounds. 15 points. 15-point lead for the Stags with under 3 minutes to go. How do they get their shooters open quick here? Cannot waste time if you're the Trojans. Got to put up a 3-point shot.
You see that TA is not afraid to press hard on defense.
Lamson in the lane, no good. And it'll stay TA ball as it touched Cheverus last. Cheverus they'll live with the 2 for TA, just can't give up a 3 right now. Dow, left wide open. Finds Lamson, fires away, and knocks it down. 2 3-pointers in a row for the Trojans.
Great 3 there from Kylie Lamson. They're cutting the lead down. Here we go.
Making it a little bit interesting here. Here's Fitzpatrick trying to will her team to their 13th win of the season.
The big thing is you can't be too aggressive on defense because you may leave players open.
Cheverus wasting a lot of time. This is the most energy I've seen for a 12-point lead, maybe ever, but with TA's momentum, who knows what could happen. Fitzpatrick inside, Lizotte for 2. That could be the dagger, a great pass from Fitzpatrick to Lizotte. Just wasted so much time on that possession, really hurt the Trojans. Coleman tangled up, finds Lamson. Trying to attack the basket, but she's shut off nicely. They've got to put up a 3.
Lizotte still guarding Coleman.
Lamson will back it out. Inside Hannah Cook. Great play by Fitzpatrick. And Jensen will take it out of the pack for the Stags. Under 90 seconds left. Fitzpatrick will settle things down. And Cook will go up and foul her.
There's actually a timeout, I believe. They called it before any foul could be called. So tough there. 2 threes in a row, and then Cheverus wastes at least 30 or 40 seconds and then get an easy layup basket. And it's just, a tough game so far for Thorne Academy.
Yeah, and it's tough for their chances, too. You think, these teams up north are so good, and you've got to be able to compete with them. And Cheverus coming off of a back-to-back, they have looked incredible defensively.
This may not be a well agreed upon thought here.
Oh boy.
Well, I think some people may not agree with this, but I'm actually happy that this game happened more than it wouldn't. If TA had gone into the playoffs without playing a team like Cheverus or Oxford Hills or Bangor, they would have had a game like this in the playoffs. It would have been devastating. Because let's just imagine they hadn't made up this game. They had gone undefeated. They had looked like a powerhouse, but we had no idea what these North teams looked like in a matchup against Thornton Academy, and this game happened in a playoff game. It would be devastating. So TA has more information about these teams and how they're going to have to match up against a team like Cheverus if this were to come in a state championship.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think, of course, you would want TA to come out with a win in this game. That would be huge, but a loss is better than not playing the game at all if it had potentially had been canceled because of the weather. So it's good that we were able to move this game up 90 minutes, get it in, and a great test for the Trojans, and they'll have to make some adjustments as they move forward in the season. TA stands at 33 points offensively right now. Their lowest point total of the season so far was 50, so 17 points shy of their worst offensive performance prior to this game. Shows you how much Cheverus has shut them down. Still a little bit of time on the clock. Under a minute to go. Cole Purvis and Zach Tarenko here on TATV. Lazat, another great block on Jess Dow.
Down to 40 seconds, and that's probably just about going to do it here.
Fitzpatrick will drive. And some more points on the board for Maddie Fitzpatrick, the outstanding junior who is committed to the University of Maine and has been outstanding for both the state championship team last year and this year's team. Cook off the mark. Dow with a good dish. Cook open, and she'll go to the line. Hasn't been Hannah Cook's night.
So unfortunately, Cole, we no longer will have an undefeated team at Thornton Academy. I will still say we probably have three that we do. That's not even we might have. We do. We have three of the top teams in their respective sports. Girls in Class AA South for basketball, boys in Class AA South for basketball, and boys hockey in Class A, as it's just one major class.
Yep.
We have had such a great winter season so far, but in our early season, Cole, you and I had hopes for undefeated teams. Unfortunately, that falls today as Cheverus wins by 14.
49-35 is the final. The Cheverus Stags come out on top here from Linnell Gymnasium. Thank you all for tuning in here on TATV. Hey, Zach, any final thoughts as we wrap things up on the Webb Law Firm post-game show?
Again, just to remember, this game does not define Thornton Academy. It's a tough loss to a team that they wanted to beat. But they'll just continue moving on. A few more games left in the season. We're getting towards the playoffs. Again, does not look like they're going to have a home playoff game, which is tough because we like to do as many games on TATV as we can. But we should have a boys game. Should have a boys hockey game at home as well. So we're excited to continue broadcasting the girls to the next few games. But that'll do it here from Linnell Gymnasium.
And the playoffs are quickly approaching, faster than we expected. It's going to be fun, but we'll see you for our next broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here on TATV.